Hello guys and welcome back to Big Brother, and today is another day where we lose another person. Sadly, KOR has been sent to the jury house, and I gotta say I am a little bit gutted. It's now getting to the point in the series where every single eviction is gonna sting in some way. There's nobody on this series that I dislike, who I'm not rooting for. Obviously I'm rooting for Angela to win, but everyone in the house seems to be against this woman, and I don't understand why. How can you not love her? I can understand many reasons why, but that's not my point. Either way, today was a very interesting episode. I don't have a great deal of notes. Usually I come out with like 2-3 pages. Today I only have 1 page. So this might be a little bit of a shorter episode, but either way, I hope you guys are enjoying. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, doing all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well. And let's just get straight into talking about the episode, shall we? So obviously the fallout of the veto meeting was pretty monumental. Rubina, Chemo, and KOR are in mourning. They're going to be losing somebody in their trio. Obviously Chemo is safe, but Rubina and KOR are not. And honestly, I think Rubina thinks it's going to be her going home, but I think KOR knows it's going to be her going home. She can sense the room, she can feel the vibes, she knows that there are people in the house that are after her. And I gotta say this about KOR, she is an incredible player, but more on that later. I think it's interesting how this trio has been deemed more dangerous than the trio of Cam, Chelsea, and MJ. Obviously, there are cracks beginning to show in that trio, but that trio itself is not as sort of fully fledged as this trio, as they are united. They will not turn on each other, and so essentially the only way to get rid of that voting block is to get rid of one of them. Interestingly, the house seems kind of split on who they want to go. MJ and Angela are very much wanting to get rid of KOR and keep Rubina, whereas I think Cam and Chelsea wants to keep KOR, and Cam kind of wants to vote with Chelsea just to make sure that they're on the same side. And then obviously there's Chemo, and Chemo is going to probably vote to save KOR over Rubina, which means that at this point in time, Rubina could go home. So really, Cam here is the swing vote, which is kind of crazy. Cam, remember when we used to take the piss out of Cam for doing fuck all in the show? He's actually kind of surprisingly good at this game. He's made it this far, having been on the block once as like a decoy person. So I kind of got to give him credit where credit's due, because he's actually nobody's target, which is absolutely wild. I would be very, very concerned about this man if I was in that house. I would be sitting there going, Cam, you're actually quite good at this game. This is kind of scary. But either way, sadly, I think the votes just aren't lining up for Rubina at that point in the episode. And so I was getting a little bit worried that KOR was going to make it out of this unscathed and then start coming for Angela and Leah. But obviously, things could always change. I have to give credit where credit is due, and Judy World has actually been one of the most demoralizing, dehumanizing, and also very, very irritating moments that I've ever watched in Big Brother. However, this is what Big Brother is about. It's about testing people physically, mentally, humanically. That is not a word, but you get what I mean. And I think that means that this week has been an absolute success. You can see the way that they're responding to Jankie, Jankie. I don't even remember the rest of the song. That's all I remember. But either way, it's just the most annoying song. The conga lines, the twerk parties, the stupid limbo parties that they have to do. It's all an attempt to try and get them to crack, which I think is fascinating. As someone who watches reality TV as like an interesting insight into the human psyche, obviously it's not actually that deep, but like that's what I like to say I watch reality TV for. I think it's actually fascinating to watch these people crack under the pressure. And there is somebody who did end up cracking this week, and I will come on to that in a little bit. But either way, I do think that Judy World has been some kind of a success, even if it might have been really boring on feeds and it might have really thrown off the momentum of this series. You can't deny that game moves were made this week that have severely impacted the game. And I gotta say, I didn't expect that from them all living in the same room for the whole week. And living outside, I think that's the toughest part, is the living outside. It's different if they were just like kept to one room indoors, but one room outdoors, that's crazy. That's actually wild and crazy. So obviously I feel like at this point, we kind of have to bring up the elephant in the room. Chelsea. What's going on with her? I say what's going on with her like I don't know what's going on with her. She is deeply, madly infatuated with Cam. And it's becoming increasingly more obvious as we go throughout the weeks, because she mentioned it all the way back in like episode 2, maybe not episode 2, week 2, when they were doing that funny little montage of all the people that are in love with each other. And obviously Cam and Mackenzie have been cuddling, they've been just snuggling, they've just been having a good time with each other. And things kind of reached a head when Cam moved his bed to be out of like direct like sky area in case it rained, and put it next to MJ's bed. And Chelsea was just sort of acting a bit off about it. She moved her bed to be over by Leah's, and then there was like a whole kerfuffle where Cam was moving his back, and it was just weird and crazy. And then Chelsea just started having a go at Cam. And I was sat there and I was like, what has Cam actually done other than just not show a romantic interest in you? Is that a bit deep to say? Is it? I'm not sure. But either way, something's happening here that I am not sure whether it is good for her or not. And I'm a little bit worried. Chelsea is one of these people that I would rather her not win the game, if I'm being honest. I think that I would like to go into the final not knowing who's going to win. And I think if she is in the final, it's going to be a clean sweep for her to win. I think the jury will vote for her, definitely. So I would rather have, I mean, obviously I want Angela on the final two. I would rather have like Angela and Rubina on the final two and have them battle it out, because I think that would be an interesting final two. I don't know who people are going to choose. I think it would be a close vote. It might come down to literally one vote. But I think with Chelsea, she could end up getting a majority of the votes quite easily, because she hasn't had to make any like drastic moves. Oh, actually, no, she took out Quinn last week. No, I'll give her that. And Leah's obviously had to take somebody out. And Angela's just getting on everyone's nerves. I don't know, but it is just frustrating. And even when she sat down with Cam later and was like, I'm just not happy about the way that you speak to me compared to everyone else. You're like actually quite mean to me. And he's sitting there going, what? And I actually appreciated what Cam said afterwards. He was like, she needs to start trusting me, so I need to get rid of KOR in order to make her trust me. Because if I'm the only other person that she has a final two with, that's it. Dunzo. And I was like, ooh, interesting. So we come to voting time. I don't actually think that KOR or Rubina did a, like, speech. Did they? Oh, no, they did. They did. I'm misremembering. They did do a speech before the voting happened. I don't think it changed anything, if I'm being honest. But interestingly, the votes came in and it was a 4-1 vote to evict KOR. We had MJ voting for KOR. We had Chemo voting for Rubina. We had Cam voting for KOR. We had Chelsea voting for KOR, which surprised me. And I'll get onto why in a second. And I also had Angela vote for KOR as well. Why did Chelsea surprise me? Purely because we didn't see a moment where she changed her mind. We saw that Mackenzie and Angela were definitely going to be voting for KOR. We saw Cam switch his mind to get Chelsea on his side once KOR had gone. But we didn't see that moment with Chelsea where she went, maybe I should get rid of her. So I'm just wondering what happened there. But other than that, it was an interesting voting session. I mean, we had Angela lustfully saying, Chuck, I miss you, as she walked out the room, which I found hysterical. She is a very funny woman, and I cannot wait for Big Brother 30, because she's definitely being invited back. She has to be. We've only got to wait until 2028. Oh my god, 2028. That's actually mental and crazy. But anyway, that is it. KOR has left the Big Brother house, and I don't know. we'll have to see what faces her in the jury house. I cannot believe that Quinn is going to be sitting in jury house and he's going to be like, oh, I wonder who's coming in. I bet it's going to be Angela. It's Decor. Huh? Decor. That's craziness. That is craziness. So in her exit interview with Julie, she was asked a couple of questions, interesting ones. Why was she voted out of the house? She felt like Rubina had a better grasp on people, was able to convince them to vote for her, but also she feels like they viewed her as a threat, as she had a very, very good social game. She could have made it a lot further, but I think she knew the jig was up. As soon as she got nominated, she was like, I've been nominated so I can go home. That's why it didn't feel like she was campaigning or fighting to stay in the game. I think she knew it was done. Which is a real shame, I have to be honest. But it is what it is. There's not really much you can do about it. However, she also was asked about her decision to put Tucker up in week 6 against her target, Angela. And Angela's obviously still in the game going into week 10 now. Are we in week 10? I feel like we're in week 10, which is wild. What do you mean we're in week 10? That's craziness. Or maybe we're in week 9. No, it's been used 9 times. Yeah. So we're in week 10 now. Double digits weeks. That's kind of crazy. So I thought that was interesting. She kind of just stuck her guns. She was like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have done anything differently. No regrets, etc., etc. But I think secretly, if she'd have kept Tucker in the game that week, I think they would have run the game from that point onwards, and she could have easily made it to like top 5, top 4 maybe. I don't know how it would have played with Tucker still being in the game, but I think they took him out at a pivotal moment, and unfortunately that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So that is pretty much it. There was a HOH competition that started, but I'll talk more about that in the next episode. Angela was doing very, very well, but obviously I know who has won HOH, and we're going to be discussing all of the things that that person is going to be doing wrong by nominating another certain someone. But it is what it is. It's just another week of hoping Angela can survive the block. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't face it, because next week is the double eviction. And double eviction, you've got to get rid of MJ or you've got to get rid of Chelsea. Otherwise, you are wasting your time. Like, there's no point in competing if you don't get rid of Chelsea and MJ in these next 2 weeks. Okay, I'm just going to ruin it. MJ should take out Chelsea this week, and then they should take out MJ in the double. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Okay. It's got to happen. It has to. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that YouTube stuff that you guys do so well, and I will see you guys later. Keep on ranting. Bye now.